Arena. Let's check the starting lineups tonight. The Mounties of MSJ going up against the North Country Falcons. For North Country, under Coach Roger Carty, and again North Country at 6-6 on the year, starting Mark Sloan in goal. Andy Marshall, who is from Quebec, centers the first line of Carmi Colburn and Scott Limoges, with Scott Labor and Josh Prue at the points. And Jason Lamourie will be centering a line of Lindsey Moore and Warren Postman, with Rebel Sloan. If that isn't a hockey name, I don't know what is. That and NASCAR racing anyway. Rebel Sloan and Pete Urey at the points, and Glenn Netto will be centering a line of Ethan Bacon and Eric Morin. For MSJ, just to recap last Saturday night quickly, McGregor Chadwick, after long bits of confusion, did serve a penalty at the tail end of the game going into overtime. And when it was all said and done, indeed it was a penalty, a 5-minute major for spearing, as that is why there was a extra time put on the penalty clock at the end of regulation. When Luke Bauman won it in sudden death overtime for MSJ, it was a shorthanded goal, and serving not only the 5-minute major but a game disqualification was McGregor Chadwick, which means he has to sit out the next game, which is tonight's game. So McGregor Chadwick will not be in the
Welcome to tonight's hockey game between the Falcons of North Country Union High School and the Mounties of Mount St. Joseph Academy. Starting with our visitors, individual introductions. Wearing number 35 and playing goal, Mark Sloan. Wearing number 15 and playing defense, Scott Labor. Wearing number 4 and playing defense, Joshua Prue. Wearing number 12 and playing center, Andy Marshall. Wearing number 10 and playing wing, Scott Limoges. Wearing number 11 and playing wing, Carmi Colburn. Wearing number 20, Sean March. Wearing number 8, Jason Lamourie. Wearing number 16, Lindsey Moore. Wearing number 17, Glenn Nato. Wearing number 19, Ethan Bacon. Wearing number 3, Warren Postman. Wearing number 18, Eric Morin. Wearing number 7, Peter Urey. Wearing number 14, Rebel Sloan. Wearing number 5, Jason Colburn. And wearing number 6, Robert Racine. The North Country Falcons are coached by Roger Carty. And now for the home team Mounties, wearing number 30 and playing goal, Mike Hogan. Wearing number 3 and playing defense, Captain Kirk Lombardi. Wearing number 12 and playing defense, Chris Cosgrove. Wearing number 11 and playing center, Jeff Brisbane. Wearing number 9 and playing wing, Eric Abel. Wearing number 17 and playing wing, Luke Bauman. Wearing number 14, Bill Babb. Captain Bill Babb. Wearing number 16, Trey Schaff. Wearing number 20, Trevor Schaff. Wearing number 8, Kevin Doherty. Wearing number 15, Keith Hannigan. Wearing number 4, Owen Brandon. Wearing number 5, John Babb. Wearing number 29, Brett LaFaso. Wearing number 21, Kristen Mason. The MSJ Mounties are coached by Mr. Jeff Johnson and assisted by Paul Hogan and Gary Radabush. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all stand and join us in our national anthem.
bit exciting here. It's a lot colder tonight than it was last Saturday. It's still not too bad. But never underestimate the Royce Mandigo Arena. Instead of wearing my boots that are good for the Antarctic, I did not. And my toes are cold. So you never can get too cocky because this place will always humble you.
I'm right with you.
It's about 40 out there, 20 in here. But the ice is better than it was last Saturday anyway. So we're set to go here, North Country and MSJ. The Mounties under Coach Jeff Johnson come into this game at 8-2-1 on the year. And Roger Cartier's North Country Falcons are 6-6 on the year. And off to a quick start, he was telling me before the things kind of caught up with his young hockey club, as the North Country Falcons do have 10 freshmen.
One of their high scorers, though, is Andy Marshall, who scored, I believe, somewhere around 10 goals in the last couple games here, but he's fairly new on the scene for them.
And he indeed will be centering the first line. It's Andy Marshall with Carmi Colburn and Scott Limoges, Scott Labor and Josh Prue at the points, and MSJ going with Jeff Brisbane, Eric Gable, and Luke Bauman, with Kurt Bombargi and also Chris Cosgrove at the points. MSJ will be going right to left here in the first period. North Country going left to right. Mike Hogan in the goal for MSJ off to our right, and off to our left it's Mark Sloan, the goaltender for North Country. Tonight's game will be taped for being on Channel 15 at a later date. Jack Abel is the cameraman. So we'll be set to go here as Brisbane and Marshall on the draw. Puck down, we're underway at Royce Mandigo. Eric Gable getting the starting nod on that first line tonight. As the puck hits center, it goes to the Mountie line where Cosgrove sends it to the North Country line. Labor pokes it ahead, and with it at the red line for a moment was Abel, knocked to the Mountie line and into the Mountie zone. Marshall in forechecking. Marshall at the left wing circle, knocked down by Cosgrove. Scrapes it out along the far boards now for Luke Bauman. Bauman up to center. Bauman over the red line. He taps the puck into North Country zone, and it was tapped away by Prue to Marshall. Marshall swings it around for Carmi Colburn, poked away by Eric Abel. Marshall had it back again for a moment. Brisbane with it now. It's in the North Country zone. Now North Country skates out with it. It's Andy Marshall up over the red line, and he dumps the puck all the way in on Hogan. Has to make the save and steers it to the far boards. Over for it is Limoges. Sent it to the side of the cage. Scott Limoges in behind. In front it came for a moment. Carmi Colburn couldn't get a stick on it. Ridden off the puck by Brisbane. Cosgrove now hit by Marshall inboard in behind Hogan. Marshall now controlling for North Country. Changes direction. Scott Marshall, stick handling, tries to wrap around and scores. Andy Marshall scoring for North Country, and the Falcons take the lead 1-0 with 13:52 remaining here in the first period. And that was the guy you were talking about, Perry. On the goal, Andy Marshall.
We don't know much about him. All we know is he did come from Quebec, and within the last 2 months, and he did score 10 goals within 3 games. So
that's
that
another
proves
goal
it right there.
Now Jason Lamoury's line. We'll get to the assist here in just a moment. Play back in. It's in the North Country zone. Back for Yuri. Yuri trying to dig it out. Yuri looking for it. It's loose in the circle. Skating it right to left. Billy Babb. It's knocked away. Comes out to the point to Kurt Bombargi. Let's fly, and scores from the right point. Kurt Bombargi ties it up quickly for the Mounties at 1-1 with 13:34 left in the first period.
Boy, what a turnaround of events here. 2 minutes in, 1 goal each, one for MSJ, one for Northfield. Bombargi comes right back with a ripper from the point.
Or that's North Country. North Country's the team.
Yes, what did I say?
Northfield.
Northfield.
Kurt Bombargi on the goal, and that ties it up at 1 apiece. Quickly recap the North Country assist. Marshall on the goal.
Scott Limoges, I believe, had the assist, just to be sure on that.
Bill Babb.
Shaft and Bill Babb on the... Trevor Shaft, who was also in on that line, and Bill Babb getting the assist on that Kurt Bombargi goal as we're underway again. The puck at center. Kurt Bombargi sends it toward the North Country line. Knocked ahead by Rebel Sloan. Got it into the Mountie zone off the stick of Postman, and back forward is Kurt Bombargi. And Bombargi starts it out right wing side on the fly up to center. Bombargi has it poked away at the red line. Then the Mounties knock it back into the North Country zone. As in is Abel in forechecking. Initially fanning on it was Yuri, and the puck finally deflected out to center where Bombargi lost it at the line, but with it now is Brisbane over the Falcon line. Brisbane to the right wing circle to Abel. Quick shot, save, Sloan, and on the rebound going backboard is Rebel Sloan, and Mark Sloan in goal. Rebel Sloan also on the ice for the Falcons, and Rebel Sloan finds it and clears it the length of the ice. No icing, and back for Kurt Bombargi behind his own goaltender. In forechecking, Eric Morin for North Country, but with it now is Eric Abel, and he clears it the length of the ice. This will be icing against MSJ. It's 1-1, 12-18 remaining in the first period. That Bombargi goal, Trevor Shaft, and also on the assist, Bill Babb. So Bill Babb was on the second line along with Trevor and Trey Shaft. And as a matter of fact, Trevor Shaft and Colin Brannon will be seeing a lot of action on that second line. Right now, it is Babb with Shaft and Trey Shaft and Trevor Shaft in there right now with Kevin Doherty and Chris Cosgrove at the points. The draw to the left of Hogan in the Mountie zone as Neto took the draw for North Country. The Mounties managed to get it up to center. Scott Labor over for it and chops it all the way in on Hogan. He has to make the save and leaves it for Kevin Doherty in behind his own goaltender. Doherty had it knocked down in deep. But now Trevor Shaft manages to get it out to Trey Shaft at center, and it's knocked away by Labor. Trevor Shaft gets it back again. He was hit by Lindsey Moore as it's right at the Mountie line. Coming over now is Labor, and Labor steers it all the way in on Hogan, and Hogan steers it now far corner for Chris Cosgrove, and we have a penalty coming up for roughing against Trevor Shaft, and North Country will be going on the power play. First power play opportunity of the hockey game with 11:42 remaining in the first period. It's 1-1, and North Country again on the power play. Trevor Shaft going off for roughing for MSJ. So the Mounties will have Luke Bauman, Jeff Brisbane, Kurt Bombargi, and Chris Cosgrove in there right now. It's Marshall in with Scott Limoges and Carmi Colburn at the points. Labor and also Rebel Sloan on the North Country power play. The draw to the right of Hogan in the MSJ zone here, as they finally get the clock squared away on that roughing call to Trevor Shaft. Well, Trevor Shaft is seeing action along with Trey Shaft on the second line along with Billy Babb for MSJ. And off the draw to the left point, it goes to Labor. Labor chops it to the end board. It comes around the boards. Mountie zone, North Country on the power play. Bauman manages to clear it all the way back down into the North Country zone. Back for it, Labor. Brisbane beat him to the puck, but it's poked loose, and skating out with it left wing side is Andy Marshall, who's got the North Country goal ridden off the puck and back over the line. Brisbane fires in, and it's knocked away by Mark Sloan, and he leaves it for Rebel Sloan. Comes in front. The goaltender knocks it away, but it goes right to Luke Bauman along the far boards now. Luke Bauman to the far corner. Luke Bauman lost it now to Andy Marshall. Andy Marshall spinning around. He has it behind his own cage and starts it out right wing side. Minute 20 left in the North Country power play. Marshall gets it out to Rebel Sloan. Off the far boards back to Marshall over the red line. Marshall over the Mountie line. Marshall left wing circle. Marshall cuts in on Hogan. Save. The puck loose in the crease. They're poking at it, and it's finally covered up. And they got a draw here. The initial save by Mike Hogan. And they were looking for that loose puck. It was sitting right there at the crease and couldn't poke it in. We'll have the draw to the left of Mike Hogan here in the Mountie zone. 1:06 left on the North Country power play as Trey Shaft and Billy Babb skate on for MSJ. 10:47 left in the first period. Tied up at 1 apiece. Draw between Marshall and Babb, and here's Colburn taking the shot from the right wing circle. An easy save for Hogan, and he hangs on. Again, Marshall and Babb on the draw. North Country on the power play. A minute left in the power play. Out to Rebel Sloan at the point. Fires in wide. Around the boards to the far boards going to Labor. Shoots it in wide. Marshall poking at it. Marshall with it. Skates it to the right wing circle. Marshall stick handling on Chris Cosgrove. Moves it right to left in behind Hogan now. Hogan knocked it away, and it comes loose, and the Mounties can't get it out of there as Colburn keeps it alive to Labor from the left point. Fires in, save Hogan, and he smothers the puck on the rebound as he falls to the ice in a prone position. We'll have the draw to the right of Mike Hogan in the Mountie zone. Brisbane and Bauman back in for MSJ. 30 37 seconds left on the North Country power play.
Hogan's absolutely superb so far. One of those times there, he had the puck sitting in the crease. It could have been easily knocked in by a North Country player, but lucky for him, his defense was all over that one.
So the draw to the right of Hogan as Labor now along with Josh Prue are at the points. And in to take the draw was Lamori for North Country. The Mounties managed to clear at the length of the ice. 30 seconds left on the North Country power play. And beating everybody to the puck, he is Luke Bauman. Luke Bauman on Prue, changes direction. Luke Bauman to Brisbane. He one-times it and scores! Just underneath the crossbar, Jeff Brisbane. Short-handed goal. It's 2-1 MSJ with 10:02 remaining here in the first period. Jeff Brisbane, the one-timer from the left wing circle. A short-handed goal. 21 seconds still left on that Trevor Schaap penalty.
That's a perfect example of how MSJ can hurt you so much. No matter who they have out there, with a man down, they still manage to make some offense up.
Bauman, of course, on an assist on that one. Babargi also with an assist on that, along with Luke Bauman. And the goal by Jeff Brisbane, shorthanded, as the Mounties have the 2-1 lead. Now 17 seconds left on the North Country power play, with the draw coming at center ice, and taking the draw, Jason Lamori. But the draw won by the Mounties. It goes to Doherty, and Doherty clears it into the North Country zone. In behind Mark Sloan goes Scott Labor. Scott Labor starts it out left wing side now for North Country. Has it poked away at the line by Brisbane. Brisbane in the North Country zone to the right wing circle. Feeds Bauman down the slot back to Brisbane. They score! Brisbane at the far post, and it's 3-1 Mounties. That is not a shorthanded goal right at the time when the penalty to Trevor Schaap was over. 3-1 MSJ after trailing 1-0. They put up 3 unanswered goals, and Brisbane with his second goal inside of the last 30 seconds or so. That one coming with 9:39 remaining here in the first period. Play back in. It's Trey Schaap with it, skates it over the North Country line to the right wing circle, cuts it in deep behind Mark Sloan, trying to center it, and nobody there. Poked out to center as Cosgrove manages to poke it back in. That was poked out to center by Eric Morin. Now Rebel Sloan with it, and from the Mountie line fires in behind Mike Hogan, and back forward is Kurt Bombargi, and Bombargi clears at the length of the ice. This will be icing against MSJ. So with 9:12 remaining first period, the Mounties lead it by a score of 3-1.
Boy, that was a beautiful play by Brisbane and Bauman again. Unbelievable. They actually passed the puck 3 times in between there and the goalie. It was just a beautiful play, and he put it up on the right-hand corner against the North Country goalie.
Mark Sloan is the North Country goaltender. They draw in the Mountie zone to the right of Hogan. Quick shot, saved by Hogan. That came off the stick of Eric Morin. And over for it, Bombargi clears it out to center, back for it, Yuri. Yuri manages to fire the puck back into the Mountie zone, and back for it is Kurt Bombargi. Send it out, intended for Trey Schaap, intercepted at the line by Eric Morin, steers it back into the Mountie zone. Around the boards it comes Colin Brandon, seeing action now. He got it up to Bill Babb. Bill Babb clears it all the way in on Mark Sloan. He steers it to the near corner, and over for it is Rebel Sloan. Sends it along the near boards. Cosgrove keeps it in at the point. As the shot knocked down at the top of the left wing circle, Morin skates it out for North Country. Morin's pass goes in behind Ethan Bacon as Brandon managed to clear it back out to center. Trey Schaap with it now over the North Country line. Stops, goes to his knees, manages to poke the puck to the end board, and a back for it is Rebel Sloan. Sends it along the near boards, but kept in by Trey Schaap. Rebel Sloan again can't clear, kept in by Chris Cosgrove. His shot deflected. Cosgrove again at the circle. Shot deflected. Cosgrove again. Sends it in deep to Trey Schaap. Has it knocked away back to Cosgrove. Quick shot. It went wide, but it was actually stopped by Mark Sloan. Top of the slot. Brisbane shot knocked down. And skating it out to center for North Country, Ethan Bacon. Getting it into the Mountie zone. Got it to the end board, and back forward is Kevin Doherty. Ethan Bacon grabs it again, but Doherty gets it back again for MSJ and starts it off right wing side. Pass goes behind Eric Abel at center. Abel picks it up again. Hit by Labor. Finally, it's knocked ahead by Josh Prue into the Mountie zone, and back forward is Kevin Doherty. Doherty sends it up now to Luke Bauman. Retreats to his own zone. Sends it back to Doherty, and he had a hand pass ahead, and here's the hand pass call now, as he did send it from his own blue line over the red line. Hogan to the near corner. Osgrove lost it, but it went right to Abel. Tries to clear, kept in by Prue. Shot stopped in front. Here's Colburn. Shot save. Hogan. Colburn on the rebound, knocked away. Back out to the right point. The shot came in wide from Prue. Now Marshall sends it out to the left point to Labor. One times it. Save. Hogan on the rebound. Save. Hogan as the rebound came in from Limoges. And Hogan hangs on. We'll have the draw to the right of Mike Hogan in the MSJ zone. 7:01 remaining first period. 3-1 Mounties. Now Trevor Shaft is it. Trevor and Colin Brannon will alternate for the most part on that second line. Bill Babb and Trey Shaft and Trevor Shaft in, Kevin Doherty and Kurt Bomborgi at the points.
Mike Hogan getting his share of saves on this line. Northfield's line, first line out here is
North Country.
North Country. Why do I want to say Northfield?
Off the draw to the left point. Labor shot save. Hogan the rebound back to the circle as Babb cleared out Marshall. Now Colburn with it. Back to Marshall. Ridden off the puck at the crease and backboard is Trey Shaft. But we have a checking from behind penalty coming up here. And this is when I said ridden off the puck by Bill Babb, he rode him off the puck by checking from behind, and Bill Babb is going off. In North Country, its second power play opportunity of the hockey game. The Mounties lead at 3-1 with 6:49 remaining here in the first period.
North Country's moving the puck very well in their own zone. Second power play of the night. Mike Hogan has to be absolutely superb in this one.
Draw to the left of Hogan as Brisbane on the draw with Marshall. Brisbane wins the draw and clears it all the way down to the Falcon zone as Mark Sloan will leave it for Josh Prue. And Prue will start it out left wing side and up the middle now for North Country on the power play. Up to Marshall at center. Marshall chops it into the Mountie zone. Back for it, Kurt Bomborgi. He waits and then shoots at the length of the ice. This will go all the way in on Mark Sloan with Bauman there. Sloan sends it up to Scott Labor. Scott Labor sends it up to center to Marshall. Marshall over the Mountie line down the middle. Marshall cuts in and stopping it at front. Doherty in behind his own cage. Tried to clear, kept in by Labor. He fans on it. It's being poked at by Brisbane. Finally kept in by Marshall. Skates it left to right. Andy Marshall now along the near boards. He's hit along the near boards by Bomborgi, but picked it up again and lost the puck now to Bauman. Bauman shoots it all the way around the boards. This will go the length of the ice. 1:07 left in the North Country power play. 5:50 remaining here in the first period. Mounties with a 3-1 lead. And starting it out right wing side is Scott Labor for North Country. Labor lost it in his own line. It goes to Trey Shaft. Holds it, skates it to the line, fires in wide of Mark Sloan. All the way around the boards. In now Eric Abel. Abel stick handling at the circle. Knocked away. Got it back again. It was knocked away by Josh Prue. Abel's pass off the far boards wanted to go over for Trey Shaft. Shaft can't quite skate it down as Marshall sends it up now to Colburn. Carmi Colburn. Send it now onto the stick of Limoges, and Limoges sends it in wide of Hogan. Now with it is Trey Shaft. Tries to backhand it out. Labor keeps it at the point. Saved by Hogan. And it comes back to Marshall at the left wing circle. It went wide to the end board. Limoges with it now. Hit by Bomborgi. Comes out to the left point to Labor. Lines it up. Wide of Hogan. All the way around the boards. Over for it. Rebel Sloan shoots it in. Save Hogan. Top of the circle. Top of the slot. Marshall's turnaround goes wide. Limoges now digs it out from the end board. Tried to center it. Abel finds it and clears it the length of the ice. Penalty is over to Billy Babb. Both teams at full strength now. As Mark Sloan sends it over. Wanted to go to Rebel Sloan. Babb managed to dig it out. Tried to keep it in, but it comes out to center, and Bauman steers it back into the North Country zone. Now stealing in the zone. Brisbane is shot. Save Mark Sloan, and he covers up on the rebound. As Labor couldn't clear it away. I believe it was Labor over there trying to clear it away. At any rate, it was either Labor or Rebel Sloan, but Brisbane stole the puck in the zone, and Mark Sloan had to come up with a save. 3-1 Mounties with 4:29 remaining here in the first period.
Jeff Brisbane certainly having his chances tonight. That was his third tally coming into the zone there. I thought for sure that he's going to have a hat trick out of this one before the night's over.
And Brisbane will take the draw with Jason Lamore. Lamore wins the draw but can't clear as Kevin Doherty keeps it in, sends it in behind Mark Sloan. Digging it out is Eric Abel. Near corner, Eric Abel now to Brisbane, top of the slot, and it's cleared out to center by the Falcons. Trickles all the way into the Mountie zone. Back for Doherty, shouted by Warren Postman. Get it out to Abel, who chops it back out to center, where Rebel Sloan sends it into the Mountie zone in behind Hogan. And back for it is Kurt Bomborgi along the far boards. Poked away for a moment, but Bombargi breaks it loose to Brisbane. Brisbane up to Abel. Abel to Bauman over the North Country line. Bauman back to Abel. Quick shot from the circle. Save. Mark Sloan. Bauman gets it back again. Got it to Brisbane as Brisbane struggling for the puck along the near boards. Kept alive by Bauman. Over there is Rebel Sloan. Rebel Sloan can't clear. Kept in by Doherty. Fires in. Stopped in front. The backhander by Brisbane. He scores. No, they're going to wave it off. They are going to wave it off.
In the crease, I believe.
It undoubtedly was, and the draw will come to the right of Mark Sloan.
That was a pretty setup by Brisbane. He took the puck in, took a shot, rebounded off, and I believe
might have been Bauman who was in the crease.
I believe Bauman was the one.
His man in the crease, so the draw to the right of Mark Sloan as Bill Babb was on the draw for the Mounties. It's along the near boards, comes loose to Billy Babb now. Billy Babb had it deflected away. Along the near boards it comes, but they can't clear. Cosgrove keeps it at the point. Is trying to clear was Warren Postman. Goes to the end board. Back board is Rebel Sloan. Got Peter Urey with him, but he can't clear as Bombargi keeps it in at the right point. Sends it in behind the cage. Colin Brannon sent it for Bill Babb. Shot went in wide. And along the far boards now is Lindsey Moore, but he can't clear as Bill Babb has it. They tried to poke it out. Bombargi with it now along the line. Bombargi, top of the left wing circle. A rifle shot saved by Mark Sloan. And over for it is Postman. Postman looking for an opening. Sends it out left wing side now. Onto the stick of Lindsey Moore. Moore loses it in the Mountie zone to Kurt Bombargi. Ahead too far for Colin Brannon. Brannon will try to chase it down, but it's icing against MSJ. That came from outside the red line. 2:41 left first period. 3-1 MSJ. Pair of goals for Jeff Brisbane, one of them shorthanded, and a goal for Kurt Bombargi. Andy Marshall scoring for North Country.
One of the most impressive things tonight I've been seeing is Jeff Brisbane and Luke Bauman. Unbelievable combination.
The draw will come to the right of Mountie goaltender Mike Hogan. As taking the draw, Peter Urey for the Falcons, and Jeff Brisbane taking the draw for MSJ. Off the draw, still in the circle. It goes from Bauman to Cosgrove behind his own cage. Tries to clear it out, kept in by Prue. Sends it to the far corner. Over for it is Kevin Doherty. Doherty manages to clear it the length of the ice. It'll go all the way in on Mark Sloan. He'll leave it for Josh Prue. 2:24 left first period. Prue behind his own goaltender. Sends it out left wing side for Ethan Bacon. Bacon has it poked away. Back forward to Glenn Netto. Can't clear. Doherty along the line. North Country zone. Doherty backhands it in. Deflected in behind Mark Sloan. Bauman goes down at the far post. Labor tries to clear it away. Comes along the near boards now as Brisbane is in forechecking. Comes loose. Abel comes over poking at it. And finally clearing it out to center is Prue. But there for the Mounties is Kevin Doherty. And he backhands it back to the North Country zone. And back forward is Scott Labor. Labor along the near board, sending it for Eric Morin. Morin up for Netto. Netto gets it out to, well, it finally was poked away. It got to Morin, and Morin skates it out to center. And he sends it to Bacon, and Bacon shoots it all the way in on Hogan. But we have a whistle here, offside North Country. Or do we have a penalty coming up?
6 men on the ice for MSJ.
We have too many men on the ice for MSJ. Minute 35 left in the first period. The Mounties have the 3-1 lead. So North Country will have another power play opportunity here.
Too many men on the ice for
It'll be Bill Babb serving the penalty for MSJ. The too many men on the ice call.
Third power play opportunity for North Country.
Marshall and Trey Shaft in the draw just outside the Mountie line. Trey Shaft, Kurt Bombargi, Chris Cosgrove, and Eric Abel for the Mounties. Colburn tried to skate it down in the zone. The Mounties managed to clear Chris Cosgrove, and backboard in his own zone is Scott Labor for North Country. Minute 50 left on North Country's third power play opportunity. Left wing pass wanted to go to Rebel Sloan, stolen away in the zone by Trey Shaft, and he shoots it all the way around the boards. Marshall with it now, shadowed by Abel. Abel steals, kicks it in behind Mark Sloan. Eric Abel to Trey Shaft, and he scores! Trey Shaft shorthanded, 4-1 MSJ with 1:08 remaining in the first period. So Trey Shaft gets into the scoring parade after Marshall put North Country in front. The Mounties have put out 4 unanswered goals, including a pair of goals shorthanded.
Got to hit it to MSJ again with a man down. They come up with a big shorthanded goal. MSJ, boy, they could certainly put on the pressure with a man down.
Chris Cosgrove and Eric Abel on the assists. Trey Shaft on the short-handed goal. Play back in. 1:30 left on the North Country power play. A minute left in the period as the Mounties knock the puck back into the North Country zone. Backboard is Peter Urey behind his own cage. And he now leaves it for Marshall, who skates it up to center ice. Marshall on the fly up over the red line, over the Mountie line. Marshall left to right. Marshall tries to split the defense. Got it to Colburn. Saved Hogan as it comes out to Abel up to Trey Shaft. Shaft up over the red line for MSJ. Waits and fires into the North Country zone. Prue manages to knock it ahead now to Marshall. 30 seconds left in the first period. Marshall holds it at the Mountie line, and it's offside North Country. 52 seconds left in the North Country power play. Unless North Country scores, the power play will carry on into the second period. 27 seconds left in the first period, and the Mounties have a 4-1 lead. So it'll be Brisbane and Marshall on the draw just outside the Mountie line. And off the draw, it goes to Brisbane. Brisbane over the North Country line. Brisbane in front to Bauman. His backhander save. Mark Sloan. It goes back to Brisbane. 15 seconds left in the period. Brisbane bothered by Prue. Brisbane out to the right point to Baborgi. One times it. It goes wide. Goes to Brisbane. Save Mark Sloan. And he hangs on. It came right off the end board, right back to Brisbane. And his bid for his third goal, Mark Sloan making the save for North Country. As 8 seconds left now in the first period. 33 seconds left on the MSJ penalty. That's how much time left in the North Country power play.
You'd never know it, though, by the way MSJ's playing at this point.
Looks like they have the power play opportunity here. Brisbane and Marshall on the draw to the left of Mark Sloan in the North Country zone. Off the draw to Bauman, backhander near corner. 4 seconds left in the period. Brisbane digs it out. Brisbane has it poked away by Prue, and that is the end of the first period. So at the end of one here at Royce Mandigo, North Country will have a 26-second power play opportunity going into the second period. At the end of one, our score, MSJ 4, North Country 1. We'll be back after this timeout. This is a tie, even though Rutland ended up winning that for the purpose of the Holiday Tournament Championship in the third sudden death overtime. So North Country, let's see. Well, I know we took the, okay, I said that they had 10 freshmen. Coach Carty had told a few of us before the game that they got off to a quick start, even with all the freshmen. And as a matter of fact, once the season got underway, it said that I think we kind of sneaked up on people a little bit in the early going, and then when the freshmen realized they were freshmen, things started to fit into place a little bit. But he's very happy with a 6-6 record.
Yeah, I believe it's a team that we haven't seen too much about, but this point in the season to come out with 6-6 is definitely the accomplishment from them.
So the new ice down, Chuck McElhaney is a lot faster on that Zamboni than he used to be.
He's got the turbo prop.
Never once has he ever rammed that thing into the boards.
Let's hope he doesn't do it tonight.
Well, let's not tonight. Wait a minute, he's got to go through that little door over there. Don't want to speak too soon. The ice, of course, tonight in a lot better shape than it was last Saturday with that warm 60-degree weather. Tonight in the 40s, but in here colder than that. But the ice in good shape here in Royce Mandigo. So we'll see what happens here into the second period. It's a 4-1 Mountie lead. Again, 26 seconds left on the North Country power play going into the second period. At the end of the game tonight, we'll have an H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break 7th Player Award winner for the Mounties, the unsung hero. We'll also have a J.P. Carrera & Sons Most Valuable Player. The unsung hero tonight will get the cap from H.A. Eddy Energy. At a future date, and we'll be catching up on the J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP stuff as well as the year progresses here on WSYB, the 94-95 local sports season. Still a lot of action to be played. We mentioned that MSJ's got Middlebury coming up here on Wednesday. They also have Milton on Monday, a game that we will not have, but we'll have the Middlebury game. And MSJ beating Middlebury earlier by a score of 8-0 in the consolation game of the Middlebury tournament. This is giving an opportunity, by the way, this game tonight, Perry, Trevor Shaft and also Colin Brannon seeing action alternating on the second line.
Middlebury's new rink actually losing their ice this week.
Well, they did.
So they're playing all the games at the college, so I bet you Middlebury's happy they're coming down here. Unless we get some cold weather soon, I'm sure most of the other rinks in the state are probably in the same position.
So MSJ will be going left to right here in the second period. North Country right to left. The North Country goaltender Mark Sloan off to our right. Mike Hogan, the Mountie goaltender, off to our left. Again, MSJ playing without the services of McGregor Chadwick in this one tonight. He'll be back for that game on Monday.
Mike Hogan with 12 saves for MSJ. Mark Sloan from North Country has 9 saves. MSJ with 4 quality shots on net, resulting in 4 goals.
Actually, shots not quite even, right? MSJ 13 to 12 shots on goal, right?
Total shots on net, yeah, we have 9 saves for Mark Sloan.
So 13 shots on goal for the Mounties, 12 shots on goal for North Country, relatively equal, but MSJ with that one shot advantage, shots on goal. So it'll be Carmi Colburn along with Andy Marshall. Andy Marshall will be centering the line of Carmi Colburn and Scott Limoges. For the North Country Falcons, Scott Labor will be at a point along with Josh Prue on the power play. It'll be Jeff Brisbane with Luke Bauman and Chris Cosgrove. We'll wait for the other skater. Kurt Bombargi, of course. So it'll be Brisbane, who already has a pair of goals in this game and actually came up with his natural hat trick for the goal waved off as the Mounties had a man in the crease. It'll be Marshall and Brisbane on the draw. It goes to Labor's own line and shoots it up past Colburn. Colburn fanned on it, but Marshall to the right wing circle, fires in wide of Hogan. 17 seconds left on the North Country power play. Here's Bauman out to center for the Mounties from outside the line, shoots it in on Sloan, and he makes the save and steers it for Josh Prue. As North Country now 5 seconds left on the power play. They get it out to center. Colburn got the pass from Marshall. Hit by Bombargi as he got into the Mountie zone. Penalty over. Both teams at full strength. As it's still in the Mountie zone along the near boards. So poking at it is Carmi Colburn. Along the near boards, Colburn and Brisbane. And Brisbane gets it out to center to Bauman. Bauman up over the North Country line. It's offside as Eric Gable was over offside on the left wing side. We'll have the draw just outside the North Country zone. So 3 power play opportunities for North Country. They were not able to cash in on any of them as both teams at full strength now with 14-17 remaining in the second period. And MSJ with a 4-1 lead. It'll be Andy Marshall taking the draw for North Country. And taking the draw for the Mounties will be Brisbane. Brisbane with Abel and Bauman. Abel steers it into the Falcon zone. Back forward is Scott Labor. Shadow by Brisbane. Brisbane in forechecking. Brisbane with it near corner. Brisbane changes direction to the end board. Brisbane in behind Mark Sloan. And now he sends it to Abel. Abel skates it left to right in behind the cage. Abel now to the right wing circle out to Bombargi at the right point. And it's poked out to center by Colburn. Back forward Cosgrove steers it back into the North Country zone. And back forward Prue and lost it for a moment to Abel. Then Labor lost it to Schaff. And Schaff loses it again to Labor, then gets it back again. Trey Schaff to the right wing circle. Trey Schaff to Babb. Quick shot, save. Sloan, and he hangs on as Billy Babb had a golden opportunity, a rifle shot from in close, and Sloan coming up big for North Country.
Boy, that was a big save for Sloan. He never even saw that one.
I don't think he ever did either because he was looking around for it but had it all the time.
Chance for MSJ to poke it in there, too.
Trey and Trevor Schaff with Bill Babb, Kurt Bombargi, and Kevin Doherty now for the Mounties. The draw to the left of Mark Sloan in the North Country zone. And off the draw, it goes in on Sloan, and he makes the save. And we'll have another draw to the left of Mark Sloan. Again, it'll be Babb on the draw. Jason Lamourie on the draw for North Country. Off the draw to the right point to Bombargi. Shoots it in, knocked down at the circle. As skating it out is Lamourie. Lamourie sent it into the Mountie zone. Back forward Doherty. Clears it out for Trey Schaff, but he lost it along the line to Lamourie. Now Bombargi pokes it out to center. And Rebel Sloan steers it back in behind Hogan, and back forward is Kevin Doherty for MSJ. Kevin Doherty has it knocked down in the zone, is in for checking his Postman. Postman got it out to the left point to Uri, but skating it out now is Billy Babb. All the way to the North Country zone, to the right wing circle, cuts it in, trying to go to Trevor Schaap, went behind him, and now North Country controlling at center, left wing side with it is Moore, hit by Bomborgi as he got it into the Mountie zone, back out to center, as Trey Schaap sends it to Babb over the North Country line. Babb sends it to the far boards, Postman over Ford chopping at it, now with it Lamori, and Lamori got it out to center where Doherty has it. Doherty wanted to go back to Bomborgi, by him back into the Mountie zone, and back forward Kurt Bomborgi. Bomborgi sends it along the right wing side now for Abel, try to clear it out, kept in, the shot goes wide by Lamori. Along the near boards it comes, but the Mounties can't clear. Labor shoots it in wide, and Hogan leaves it behind his own cage for Kevin Doherty. Poked away, but it goes to Kurt Bomborgi. Bomborgi along the near board starts it out for the Mounties as he manages to squeeze it up to his own line to Brisbane. Brisbane now to Bauman over the Falcon line. Bauman down the slot. Bauman shoots it in. Saved by Sloan, and Labor with a rebound. Labor now sends it out left wing side, tries to clear it, kept in by Bomborgi along the near boards. Now skating it out, Scott Labor for North Country. Labor up over the red line along the far boards, and Labor fires the puck bouncing in on Hogan, as trying to get a stick on it in close was Morin. Morin now to the top of the left wing circle, poked out to center by Bomborgi, and back forward is Labor. Labor from the red line fires back in behind Hogan, and playing it off the end board is Kevin Doherty. Doherty sends it off the near boards. It'll trickle into the North Country zone all the way toward Sloan. It'll go wide of Sloan, and this will be icing against MSJ. We'll have the draw back in the Mountie zone to the right of Mike Hogan. 11:32 left, second period. 4-1 Mounties, all the scoring coming in the first period. Colin Brandon in with Billy Babb and also Trey Schaap, Kurt Bomborgi, and Chris Cosgrove. It's Marshall, Colburn, and Limoges for North Country at the points. Rebel, Sloan, and Peter Uri. Off the draw, still in the circle. Marshall looking for it. Turnaround shot by Colburn, saved by Hogan, and with it now is Bomborgi, and he clears it off the near boards too far for Brandon. Will go the length of the ice. This will be icing against MSJ, and we'll have the draw back in the Mountie zone to the left of Mike Hogan. Mounties getting a pair of goals from Jeff Brisbane, one of them shorthanded. Kurt Bomborgi with a goal, and Trey Schaap a shorthanded goal. Andy Marshall scoring for North Country. Matter of fact, when Marshall scored, that had given North Country a 1-0 lead. Babb and Marshall on the draw. Looking for now Carmi Colburn, back to Marshall. Went behind Scott Limoges as the Mounties clear it out to center. Kurt Bomborgi. This will go the length of the ice, and it will be icing against MSJ. And the draw back in the Mountie zone. As Abel, Brisbane, and Bauman skate onto the ice for MSJ, and Bomborgi remains on at a point along with Chris Cosgrove. And now Kevin Doherty is on. So it'll be Marshall and Brisbane on the draw to the right of Mike Hogan in the Mountie zone. 11:08 remaining here in the second period. 4-1 Mounties. Off the draw, Bauman now to Bomborgi behind his own goaltender. Bomborgi lost it for a moment to Limoges, but now controlling along the near boards. Sends it off the far boards, too far for Abel. It'll go in wide of Sloan. Sloan actually steers it for Rebel Sloan. Rebel Sloan, and it poked away by Bauman along the near boards. Rebel Sloan. Marshall coming over as well. Now coming over was Limoges. Lost it to Brisbane, ridden off the puck top of the slot. Got it, it went to Cosgrove, but he lost it to Marshall, who skates it out to center over the red line and dumps it into the Mountie zone near corner. Over for Cosgrove. He's ridden off the puck. Over for there is Scott Limoges. Out to the left point to Labor. Flips it in. It hit the back of Doherty and went behind the cage. Cosgrove swings it around, intended for Abel. Abel poking at it, kept in by Prue. Back to Doherty. Tries to clear it out. Kept in nicely by Colburn. And now it is Cosgrove clearing it out to center for Brisbane. Brisbane to Bauman over the North Country line. Bauman leaves it for Brisbane. Brisbane poking at it. Brisbane gets it back again from Labor. Cuts in now on Sloan. In front to Bauman. Save Sloan, a beauty. And skating it out now, Carmi Colburn up to Marshall. Marshall up over the red line. From outside the blue line, fires in on Hogan. And he makes the save. And we have a hooking call coming up here. Yes, that is a hooking call.
Luke Bauman's going to go off for hooking.
Luke Bauman going off, and this is the fourth power play opportunity for North Country.
Just before that play, we had Bauman on a good rush for MSJ.
So we'll have the draw to the left of Mike Hogan in the Mountie zone. 9:55 remaining second period. The Mounties lead at 4-1. Lamore on the draw for North Country. Goes to the top of the right wing circle, shooting it in. Josh Prue came to the near corner. Doherty tries to clear it out. Labor keeps it in. Right in front, the quick shot save. Hogan, that came off the stick of Warren Postman. Postman in on this line, along with Lindsey Moore and Jason Lamore. And at the points, Josh Prue and Scott Labor for North Country here on the power play opportunity. And at 49 left on the Falcon power play. 9:43 left second period. It's 4-1 Mounties. Billy Babb taking the draw for the Mounties, and Jason Lamore taking the draw for North Country. Now Bill Babb will skate to the bench.
Why do I get the feeling that MSJ is going
to score a shorthand goal here? Well, we'll see. They've had a pair tonight. Brisbane comes in to take the draw and wins the draw now. Sends it back to Bombargi, and he whistles the puck the length of the ice. Wide of Mark Sloan, and Sloan has to knock it away from Trey Shaft, who was coming over for it. It goes to Labor. Labor up to center, right onto the stick of Lamore, or Lamore rather, but Brisbane steals, and Brisbane in behind Sloan, then changes direction. Brisbane to the far corner. Brisbane is bumped there by Josh Prue. Coming over for now is Postman. Postman sends it out left wing side. Wanted to go up to Moore. Kept in by Shaft to Brisbane along the near boards. Still in the North Country zone. And finally it's poked out to center and backboard Kurt Bombargi. He's hit by Lamore. And it goes back into the Mountie zone where Cosgrove fires it back to center ice. 1:03 left on the North Country power play. Lamore got it into the zone. Now Postman with the top of the right wing circle shoots it in behind Hogan. Now digging it out is Colburn, hit by Cosgrove. Chris Cosgrove looking for it. Colburn goes down. Now Cosgrove with it. 48 seconds left in the Falcon power play. And a Labor couldn't keep it in at the point. It deflects off Labor and up into the bench area and out of play. 45 seconds left in the Falcon power play. 8:39 left in the second period. 4-1 Mounties as Babb, Evil, Cosgrove, and Bombargi are in. It is Limoges, Marshall, and Colburn for North Country, with Rebel Sloan and Peter Urey at the points that draw just outside the Mountie zone. As Babb taking the draw with Marshall, it went to Urey. Urey pokes the puck into the Mountie zone. Back for Chris Cosgrove. Swings it around too far for Abel. Kept in by Rebel Sloan. Shoots it in. The save by Hogan. That shot from along the far boards. Now Urey for the left point save. Hogan digging it out as Marshall. Ridden off the puck nicely by Babb. Marshall got it back again. Back to Urey. One times it wide from the left point. Around the boards it goes. Out to the right point. Rebel Sloan has it knocked down. Abel skates it down at center. Abel on Urey. Abel will cut it in on Mark Sloan, and the shot goes across the crease wide. Billy Babb with it, digs it out near corner. Back forward Marshall. 5 seconds left in the North Country power play. Marshall in behind his own cage. Lost it for a moment as Babb bumped him. Over forward Rebel Sloan. Couldn't clear it. Kept in by Cosgrove. Penalty over. Both teams at full strength. Marshall with it now. So again, North Country couldn't cash in. Bauman had it for a moment in the Falcon zone. Marshall clears it out to center. Onto the stick of Limoges. He lost it to Cosgrove. And Cosgrove losing it to Marshall back in the North Country zone. Back out to center to Limoges. Limoges over the Mountie line. Limoges fires in a weak shot wide of Hogan. Dug out by Carmi Colburn. Colburn swings it around to the right wing circle to Marshall. Turnarounds. Knocked away. It went wide anyway to the end board. Marshall grabs it again. Marshall near boards. Tried to center it. Gets it to the right wing circle to Colburn. Wanted to go back to Marshall. And it's cleared out by Cosgrove all the way back down into the North Country zone. And back forward is Rebel Sloan. Coming down on 7 minutes left, second period. 4-1 MSJ as the Mounties change up here. Bill Babb steals at center over the North Country line. Offside Mounties. And you said you get the feeling that they would score shorthanded. They almost did as Eric Abel went in, and the shot went wide across the crease. His backhander as the draw comes outside the North Country zone here.
He completely deked Mark Sloan from North Country. He had the whole entire net. I don't know how that puck went behind him and past the net.
Lamore will take the draw for North Country with Babb off the draw. Goes to Bombargi at the red line. Fires in wide of Mark Sloan. Off the end board played by Labor. Labor behind his own cage. Starts it out right wing side. as he got it to Postman, and it went right back to Labor again as it was knocked away. Labor up to center, over the red line. Let's fly on Hogan. Save. He leaves it for Kevin Doherty. 6:40 left in the second period. The Mounties with a 3-goal lead. Doherty's pass too far for Babb. All the way to the end board, in behind Mark Sloan. Babb bumped Josh Prue. Now cleared out by Postman. Left wing pass to Moore. Up to Lamore. Lamore over the Mountie line on Doherty along the far boards. Tried to feed the top of the slot. Nobody there but Trevor Schaff. He can't quite skate it out. Kept in by Lamore. Top of the left wing circle. Knocked away by Bomborgi. Bomborgi skates it out now to center for MSJ. He lost it as it went to Josh Prue. Prue lost it to Trey Schaff. Got it to Trevor Schaff. Puck loose at center ice now. And now Brisbane with it. Skates it over the Falcon line. He goes in on Sloan. Shoots it in. He was dragged down and went wide. And here comes the penalty on North Country. And this will be MSJ's first power play opportunity. It's a hooking call against Scott Labor of North Country. North Country's first penalty. And MSJ going on the power play with 5:54 left in the second period. All the scoring in the first period, 4-1 MSJ.
Jeff Brisbane and Luke Bauman on that last play came right down in a 2-on-0 situation. Almost like the two previous goals. They could have had another third right there.
Morin is in along with Rebel Sloan, Andy Marshall, and also Carmi Colburn, the penalty killers for the Falcons. Brisbane in with Bauman and Abel, Bomborgi and Cosgrove on the Mountie power play. The draw in the North Country zone to the right of Mark Sloan. Andy Marshall, who's got the North Country goal, will take the draw against Jeff Brisbane of MSJ. And off the draw goes to Abel. Out to the left point now to Kurt Bomborgi. Lines it up, and the shot goes wide. Back to Abel, back to Bomborgi, left point. Bomborgi looking, back to Abel, left wing circle. Flips it in, hit the side of the cage, goes behind the cage now. Bauman now. Bauman in behind the cage. Bauman in front of Brisbane. Brisbane can't find the puck. They're poking at it. Abel now. The shot goes wide. It comes along the near boards. Cosgrove lost it for a moment to Rebel Sloan. Now Brisbane comes over. Now Marshall finds it and clears it back down to the Mountie zone. 1:25 left on the MSJ power play. Their first of the hockey game. As Bomborgi will start it out now. Right wing side for MSJ. Kurt Bomborgi. Left wing pass up to center to Bauman over the red line, over the North Country line. Luke Bauman cuts it in deep on Sloan. Fires in. It goes around the boards behind the cage. Cosgrove is hit, but Brisbane digs it out along the near boards, out to the point out of Bomborgi. Flips it in. The save by Mark Sloan. Off the rebound to Abel. Wanted to go in front. Knocked away. And now finally clearing it out is Marshall. All the way back down to the Mountie zone. And leaving it for Chris Cosgrove is Mike Hogan. 50 seconds left in the Mountie power play. Cosgrove, left wing pass up for Brisbane, still in the Mountie zone. Brisbane stick handling, skates it out to center. Brisbane over the red line. Brisbane now sends it to Abel. Abel left to right. Abel over the North Country line, has it knocked away. Now Abel went down at the circle as they're looking for it. Goes to Brisbane now. 28 seconds left in the power play for the Mounties. In behind Mark Sloan. Out to the left point now to Cosgrove. Cosgrove sends it to the left wing circle for Trey Schaff. His shot knocked away. Brisbane played the puck and knocked it in front. It was knocked away and back for it now for North Country as Eric Morin can't clear. Kept in by Cosgrove at the point. Fires in save. And on the rebound, they score! And picking up the rebound and getting his third goal of the game, Jeff Brisbane. It is a Mountie power play. And the Mounties lead it by a score of 5-1. That coming with 3:59 remaining in the second period.
Nice shot by Jeff Brisbane. He was parked right on the doorstep on that. He got the rebound from a slap shot that came from the point. I believe it was Bombargi.
So Jeff Brisbane's got the hat trick. It was Cosgrove that sent it in there. He gets the assist. Brisbane on the power play. And it is 5-1 Mounties. Play back in, quickly into the zone, and shooting it in with Sean Marsh wide as he's seeing some action. Marsh got it back again. Comes out to the point. Prue Fans, or Yuri, check it, fans on it at the point. Now with it is Colin Brandon. He skated it into the zone. Now Babb with it. Babb shoots it in, deflected by Brandon to the far corner. Now Shaft out to the top of the circle to Cosgrove, shoots it in near corner. Overboard trying to chop it away was Moore. Doherty had it for a moment, goes in behind Mark Sloan. Now Trey Shaft, and his backhander in front trickles in on Mark Sloan, and he smothers the puck. Yuri had it at the point for North Country. He fanned on it.
Almost a breakaway opportunity for MSJ on that one. They were racing to the puck on the far blue line.
We got a penalty against Trey Shaft. So North Country will go on a power play here, and I didn't catch what that call was. So North Country has another power play opportunity. Jeff Brisbane, 3 goals, the hat trick for the Mounties, a shorthanded goal, also a power play goal. And Trey Shaft off for MSJ, so North Country going on another power play opportunity here. Hitting after the whistle, that was the call on Trey Shaft, so North Country on another power play. Rebel Sloan his own zone. Rebel Sloan sends it out to center. Kevin Doherty with it, his own line for the Mounties, dumps it back into the North Country zone to the end board, and back forward Scott Labor left to him for Mark Sloan, the goaltender. As Labor sends it off the near boards for Marshall at center. Marshall trickles it to the Mountie line where Bombargi has it. Sends it off the near boards to the North Country line, and retreating to his own zone is Andy Marshall for North Country. Minute 33 left on the Falcon power play as the pass goes to the line, and Marsh had it but lost it. And skating it out now is Andy Marshall. Now with it is Scott Labor. Labor to the red line, fires all the way in on Hogan. He steers it away as it's knocked away by Bombargi to Marshall. Out to the left point to Labor. Fires in. It was deflected in front as it was knocked away by Hogan. Swinging it around now is Marshall out to the right point to Rebel Sloan. It comes out of the zone. Rebel Sloan fires back into the Mountie zone, and with it is Kevin Doherty, and he will knock the puck the length of the ice. I'm kind of wondering if Limoges changed uniforms, and when I asked that about Limoges, we haven't seen out there in a while, just in case. Sometimes that happens if there's blood on the jersey, as we have in there Sean Marsh. The Mounties have it in their own zone. As Abel knocks it out to center for MSJ, knocked away by Labor, and Abel gets it back again. Got it into the North Country zone where Labor has it. Labor hit by Babb. Labor got it back again and clears it out to center to Colburn. Colburn over the Mountie line. Colburn sends it to the end board. Colburn tried to run it down ahead of Bombargi. Hit by Bombargi. Bombargi lost it to Marshall. Marshall swings it around to the left wing circle. Fires in. It goes wide to the far corner. Rebel Sloan along the far board. Sends it off the near boards for Lamourie. Lamourie couldn't quite skate it down as he was bumped. Out to the left point to Labor. 5 seconds left on the power play. To the corner it goes. Near corner to Marshall. Marshall shoots it in on Hogan. Deflected wide. Colburn shot. Knocked away and skated out by Eric Abel. Abel up to Trey Shaft, and it's a 2-line pass. I want to ask the people from North Country who number 20. I just want to double check on that. Sometimes that I haven't seen Limoges in there in a while. It is Sean Marsh then. Okay. I wanted to double check on that because the penalty is over, by the way, on Trey Shaft. Both teams at full strength. Sometimes that happens, and I just wanted to double check. Because Limoges hasn't played in a while. He'd been part of that first line, and I noticed Sean Marsh had been playing. Sometimes blood on the jersey, and they make them change jerseys in most of the sports anyway. Play back in from the right point. Eric Morin, but he lost it to Chris Cosgrove. Cosgrove up to Abel. Abel to Brisbane. Brisbane over the North Country line. In on Yuri. Brisbane in deep, in behind Mark Sloan. Brisbane now swings it out to the right point to Bombargi. One times it, save. Rebound, Brisbane save. Rebound again, Brisbane save. And Brisbane again save. And they finally blow the whistle. And we have a penalty coming up here with 46 seconds left in the second period. And let's see, will it be matching penalties? Labor will be going off, and also, or check it, going off, Eric Morin going off, and also Luke Bauman matching penalties. We'll be skating 4-on-4.
Mark Sloan coming up with a barrage of saves there for North Country.
the left of Mark Sloan. With 46 seconds remaining here into the second period. Draw goes to Abel. To Bombardier, shoots it in and hit the back of Brisbane and is cleared out to center. So they're skating 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. The rest of the period going into the third period as the puck trickles into the Mountie zone, and back forward is Eric Abel. Abel sends it left wing side to Brisbane. Brisbane over the North Country line. Brisbane in on Mark Sloan. Goes to his knees, knocked away by Rebel Sloan. And now skating it out is North Country is trying to skate it out there and unable to do it for a moment was Bacon. Now Bacon gets it back again. Bacon over the Mountie line, 12 seconds left in the period. Bacon picks it up again at the line and skated out to center by Cosgrove. Cosgrove over the North Country line. Cosgrove along the far boards, 3 seconds left in the period. Sends it in behind Mark Sloan, and that is the end of the second period. So we have played 2 periods here at the Royce Mandigo Arena. After 2, our score is MSJ 5 and North Country 1. A minute 15 remaining on the matching penalties as we go into the third period. As again, okay, they check it on the board there. I had to.
Yeah, I thought I missed a goal.
So did I. I thought I was sleeping there for a second.
It's like
5-1 MSJ after 2. Again, a minute 15 left on the matching penalties. Luke Bauman for MSJ and Eric Morin for North Country. So that's your score after 2 periods of play. MSJ 5 and North Country 1. We'll be back after this timeout.
Why do I want to say Northfield?
You keep saying that enough, and I'll start saying it. I'll tell you that.
Are they both in the same area? Where is North Country?
Well, North Country is about as far away from here as you can get. That's why they're playing back-to-back here. They had both Rutland scheduled and MSJ scheduled. Instead of coming down twice, they're coming down once for the 2 games. They're up in Newport, which is way up on the Canadian border. I mean, it's way up there. They even have Coach Carty had been talking to a few of us before the game. They have to travel a long distance for just about every one of their games on the road. They play in Rock Island, Quebec. That's where their rink is.
I think that's where they picked up Andy Marshall.
Yeah, he's from Quebec. Well, he didn't have to go very far if he lived in Rock Island, only about a mile. But Newport's up there. I mean, it's Derby line, that area.
Derby, Enosburg is another.
Well, Enosburg is more toward St. Albans, right? Yeah. But this is the Northeast Kingdom, way up above the north. It's further than the Northeast Kingdom. I'm not even sure where it is. I just know it's up there. And it takes a while to get down here. And they, of course, as I said, they have games in which they play at Rutland and MSJ. And rather than come down here twice, they're playing back-to-back games and staying in town. New-ice down will be set for third period action momentarily. The Mounties with a 5-1 lead. Again, a minute 15 left on the matching penalties. Luke Bauman for the Mounties, and it's Eric Morin off for the North Country Falcons. One of the things was the first line for North Country consisting of
Scott Labor, Andy Marshall.
Yeah, well, it's Andy Marshall and Carmi Colburn along with Scott Limoge up front with Scott Labor and Josh Prue at the points. Obviously, they break that up a little bit at the points. And toward the tail end of the second period, Sean Marsh started to see action. Now, not that Sean Marsh wouldn't be playing, but I wanted to double check. Sometimes you got to be aware of this because I was wondering what happened to Scott Limoge as he was, unless he was just sat down by the coach, which is the case.
Possibility there. At
least in football and basketball, if you get blood on your jersey, you have to change jerseys, and I thought that might have been a possibility. You always have to keep an eye on that, but that's not the case. And that's why I kind of suspected that maybe something was different, because I was wondering how all of a sudden Sean Marsh was playing, who hadn't played all night, and all of a sudden was on the first line. But as it turned out, indeed, Sean Marsh did get the action, and that's what happened there. Because there haven't been that many games over the years where that's happened, but it has happened occasionally. I saw it in football once. I've seen it in basketball once or twice, and perhaps it's happened in hockey, but that is supposed to be the rule. And you always have to keep your eyes open for any possibility, and I thought that might be the possibility. But as it turned out, Limoge just wasn't playing, and Sean Marsh was up on that first line.
One of the big surprises tonight for MSJ has been the combination of Jeff Brisbane and Luke Bauman.
We'll have a 7th Player Award winner at the end of the game tonight, and also a J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP. The game to be rebroadcast, televised on Channel 15 at a later date. It'll be the Mounties going right to left in the 3rd period. North Country will be going left to right in the 3rd period. And Mike Hogan doing his housekeeping off to our right. And for North Country, Mark Sloan doing his housekeeping off to our left. Be set to go, and again, Bauman and Morin serving their penalties, the matching penalties, so they'll be skating 4-on-4 for 1:15 going into the 3rd period here at the Royce Mandigo Arena. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight for this one, too. We're getting excited about hockey, especially after the great games that MSJ and Rutland have put together. It is Andy Marshall and Carmi Colburn, Scott Labor, and Josh Prue, the 4 skaters for the Falcons. Eric Gable, Jeff Brisbane, Chris Cosgrove, and Kurt Bombargi, the 4 skating people, the 4 skaters for MSJ. Again, MSJ going right to left here in the 3rd period, and North Country going left to right here in the 3rd period. Brisbane will take the draw with Andy Marshall. They're again skating 4-on-4 off the draw. Goes to Prue at his own line. Sends it up to center for Marshall. Sends it back to Labor at his own line. Then Marshall gets it back again. Retreats to his own zone and skates it up to center over the red line. Let's fly from outside the blue line. Hogan has to make the save. And the rebound knocked out to center by Bombargi. Trickles into the Falcon zone. Prue back for it. Prue gets it up to Marshall. Marshall off the near boards to center where Cosgrove finds it. Skates it to the line. Fires all the way and it scores! Chris Cosgrove from the blue line. 6-1 Mounties with 14:37 left in the hockey game. Chris Cosgrove from the blue line beating Mark Sloan.
Boy, Chris Cosgrove really teed that one up with a 9-iron right outside the blue line. Mark Sloan went out to meet the puck. He thought it was probably going to go by his stick, and I thought it was going to hit the post. Went right in.
It is unassisted for Chris Cosgrove from the North Country blue line as we got a icing call on the Mounties right off the draw, and the draw back in the Mountie zone. Chris Cosgrove from the blue line. Wow. 6-1 MSJ. 47 seconds left in the matching penalties.
Surprise, surprise.
Draw to the left of Hogan, and off the draw with it is Marshall. Marshall wants to come out to Prue. Prue lost it to Bombargi. Bombargi steers it out to center. Labor with it on a battle with Abel. And now Marshall retreats to his own line for North Country. Pass goes too far for Colburn into the Mountie zone, and Cosgrove sends it out to Abel, and Abel steers it back into the Falcon zone on a chase. Brisbane managed to poke it in on Sloan, had to make the save. Cosgrove with it, and he lost it to Colburn. Cosgrove gets it back again now to Abel at the slot. Abel lost it at the circle. 15 seconds left on the matching penalties. Abel out to Brisbane as Abel got it back again. Brisbane shot wide all the way around the boards to the right point to Bombargi. Fires in front to Brisbane. Brisbane's backhander hit the side of the cage. Almost had number 4 there. Ridden off the puck at the end board, and with it is Marshall. Penalty over to both teams. Both teams at full strength. The matching penalties are over. Still in the North Country zone. Abel to Bombargi one time, and it goes in wide. Over for Luke Bauman. Bauman backhands it to the end board and back forward Marshall as the Mounties change up, and Marshall clears the puck the length of the ice. This will be icing against North Country. We'll have the draw back in the North Country zone to the right of Mark Sloan. 6-1 MSJ. 13:27 left in the hockey game. Marshall the only goal for North Country, and that had given North Country a 1-0 lead early in the hockey game. That came about a minute and 8 seconds into the hockey game. Play back in as it's knocked away by Uri. They can't clear. Babb with it. Now to Trey Schaff. Lines it up. Shot deflected. Goes to the far boards now. Lindsey Moore managed to squeeze it out to center. And there with it is Jason Lamoureux, but he lost it to Bombargi. Bombargi goes down as he got the puck into the North Country zone. They clear it out to center. Rebel Sloan to Marsh. Marsh's shot goes in wide of Hogan. Over forward is Kevin Doherty. Up for Trey Schaff. Trevor Schaff on the ice right now as well. Trey up to center. Trey up over the red line, over the North Country line. Trey Schaff cuts it in on Uri, and he sent it in front. Rebel Sloan can't find it. Trevor Schaff looking for it. Bill Babb shoots it in. Save Sloan, and he hangs on. Trevor Schaff and Trey Schaff with Billy Babb, Kevin Doherty, and Kurt Pomorji for MSJ. Is skating on now Ethan Bacon. Also skating on Glenn Netto sees a little bit of action, saw some action early in the game. And also Warren Postman for North Country, and now Colin Brandon skates on for the Mounties. So Brandon's on with Babb and Trey Schaff and Doherty and Pomorji. Drawn to the right of Sloan. It goes to Schaff, and Schaff's shot hit the post. Out to the right point to Pomorji. Fires in, save. Babb on the rebound, looking for it and shot it wide. It comes around the boards. Postman now lost it to Trey Schaff, out to Doherty at the point. Back to Trey Schaff along the near boards. North Country zone. As they're trying to clear it out of there was Netto. Now Doherty with it along the line. Fires in just wide of the cage. I don't believe Sloan saw that. We got a penalty coming up here as the puck goes up over the glass and out of play.
Bill Babb, I think, for boarding.
And it will be boarding Bill Babb, and North Country will have another power play opportunity, and a North Country player has been injured. Bill Babb might be a little shaken up too. He hasn't
he's laying on top.
Or maybe he's on top of him. Okay.
He's not moving either.
6-1 Mounties with 12:11 remaining in the game. The Mounties got the hat trick from Jeff Brisbane, Kurt Pomorji, Trey Schaff, and Chris Cosgrove, all with a goal apiece. And tell who that injured North Country player is. What happened was Bill Babb was tangled up with him. He'll be going off for boarding, and North Country will have another power play opportunity. How many opportunities have they had on the power play?
I believe this is their, I think it's their fourth. Sixth power play.
It's Rebel Sloan, the injured North Country player, but he's back up. He'll be coming to the bench, but he'll be okay.
North Country with 6 power play opportunities. Boy.
On 2 of those opportunities, MSJ scoring shorthanded. And MSJ has a power play of its own. Brisbane, Bauman, Cosgrove, and Pomorji for the Mounties. Marsh is in, along with Marshall, Uri, and Labor. And Colburn is also in on the North Country power play. The draw just outside the North Country zone. Brisbane and Marshall off the draw. Goes back to Uri, his own zone. Sends it for Labor, left wing side. Labor's pass deflected all the way into the Mountie zone, where Cosgrove finds it and fires it back down into the Falcon zone. And back for it will be Peter Uri as Sloan leaves it for Uri. Sends it ahead, left wing side to Labor. Wanted to go back, but it comes back. It was poked away, went back to Labor, and Labor from the red line fires in behind Hogan, and back for it Chris Cosgrove. Initially fans on it, hit by Marsh, and forechecking is Marshall, but knocked behind the cage by Bauman to the far boards, where Colburn dug it out and last it to Brisbane, and Brisbane clears to the Falcon zone. Back for Uri as Sloan will leave it for Uri. 1:18 left in the North Country power play. 11:25 left in the hockey game. It is 6-1 MSJ. Pass comes out to center, intercepted by Pomorji. Goes down as Colburn brought him down. We got a tripping call coming up on Carmi Colburn, and this will even things out. It'll be 4-on-4. Tripping on Carmi Colburn, and in 1:07 when Bill Babb's penalty is over, the Mounties will be going on a 53-second power play. What's that now?
Second power play.
The Mounties' second power play opportunity. It'll be a short one. It'll be 53 seconds. They're skating 4-on-4 now. 11:17 left in the game. 6-1 MSJ. Brisbane taking the draw for the Mounties, but it is won by the Falcons as Marsh sent it back to Uri. Tries to clear, kept in by Pomorji at the right point. Pomorji now to Bauman, skates it right to left. Bauman at the slot, had it poked away, and skating out of there with it is Marsh. Up to center, up over the red line. Marsh over the Mountie line. Marsh cuts it in, trying to center it, nobody there, but Uri keeps it in along the line as it comes out to center as Brisbane knocked it out to center, and Marshall with it now for North Country. Marshall sends it left wing side, and steering it in is Marsh for North Country all the way to the near boards. Marshall in forechecking. Shadowed by Cosgrove. Marshall with it to the right wing circle. Changes direction on Cosgrove. Hit by Cosgrove. Gets it in behind Hogan. Now Marshall to the far corner. Marshall now. Stick handling. Marshall tried to center it. Nobody there except for Brisbane. Brisbane manages to clear it out to center. Yuri couldn't keep it in at the point. Bauman backhands it into the North Country zone and back for Labor. In 4 seconds, Babb will be back, and the Mounties will have a short power play opportunity. Marsh's shot from outside the line goes in wide, and the penalty over to Babb. The Mounties on the power play now, and now we have a checking from behind penalty with 10:05 remaining, and it's on Trey Schaff. So that was a short 3-second or 4-second power play for the Mounties. Trey Schaff going off for checking from behind with 10:05 left in the game. In 49 seconds, when Colburn is back, the North Country will go on its 7th power play opportunity. We'll have a power play of about 1 minute and 11 seconds, something like that, or 1 minute and 20 seconds, or 1 minute 19. The draw to the left of Hogan in the Mountie zone as Lamore took the draw with Abel. Abel wins the draw and pokes it out to center. Backboard Labor backhands it back into the Mountie zone, and backboard is Kevin Doherty for MSJ. Kevin Doherty in behind his own cage. Starts it out right wing side for Trevor Schaff, but kept in by Labor. Shoots it in. Gloved by Hogan. He'll leave it for Bombargi. Skating 4-on-4 right now. 27 seconds left on Colburn's penalty as the puck is deflected up over the glass and into the stands. So we'll have the draw just outside the Mountie zone. Labor and Eric Morin at the points. Here's the guy again. He's in for the first time in a while. Scott Limoges is in there now with Jason Lamore, the 4 skaters for North Country. Abel, Bauman, Bombargi, and Doherty for the Mounties. The puck at center and steered in by Morin into the Mountie zone, in behind Hogan, and over for Bombargi. Tries to clear it out, kept in at the left point by Labor. Shoots it in, save Hogan. Rebound knocked away by Bombargi as Abel managed to squeeze it off the far boards. Now Bauman up the center. Bauman lost it to Morin in the North Country zone. Morin swings it around near boards, and it's cleared the length of the ice by Limoges, and this will be icing against North Country. That penalty over to Colburn, so now we have a North Country power play. They have 1 minute 8 left on their power play. Trey Schaff has 1 minute 8 left on his power play, or his penalty. He's serving the penalty for checking from behind. 9:13 left in the game. 6-1 MSJ.
MSJ, quick turnaround of events. MSJ with the quick turnaround of events here. Back in the same position they were earlier.
Draw to the right of Mark Sloan off the draw. Brisbane to Cosgrove. Sent it back to the circle, and it's intercepted there by Marshall. Skates it out to center. Pass goes too far for Limoges. Off the far boards, and it'll go wide of Hogan. And this will be icing against North Country. And we'll have the draw back in the North Country zone to the right of Sloan. 58 seconds left on the North Country power play. 9:02 remaining here in the game, and it's 6-1 MSJ. It's Brisbane with Trevor Schaff, Cosgrove, and Bombargi, the 4 skaters for the Mounties. As Brisbane and Marshall on the draw, won by North Country, trying to skate it down as Rebel Sloan, and he manages to grab the puck at the end board, then gets hit by Marshall. Trevor Schaff in for checking, in behind Mark Sloan. Trevor Schaff swings it around to the left point now to Cosgrove. Cosgrove lines it up, fires in, and it's kicked away by Sloan off the end board, played by Brisbane to the left wing circle. Knocked away, but it comes along the near boards. North Country controlling. Out at center is Marsh, and the shot goes in wide of Hogan. 25 seconds left on the Falcon power play. Now Marshall along the far boards fires in, save, easy one by Hogan, as Limoges tried to feed it in front to Marsh, and intercepted by Brisbane, and he skates it out to center, then gets hit there. Trevor Schaff steers it past the red line, deflected by Marshall right onto the stick of Prue, sent it to the Mountie line, where Cosgrove sends it back to the Falcon line. Prue gets it back again. Prue sends it back into the Mountie zone, and over the line was Marsh. It's offside, North Country. 1 second left on the North Country power play.
MSJ doing
I don't know if we have trouble with your mic or what here. There we go. Yeah, there might be a little bit of a short circuit in that. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Back online. MSJ killing off another This will be their 6th one.
Well, unless they score right off the draw with a second left, they have done it, and they put the puck down, and that's the end of the power play opportunity for North Country. It's in the Mountie zone. Both teams at full strength. Bamborgi swats it around too far for Bauman. Will go the length of the ice. This will be icing against MSJ. 7:54 left in the game. The Mounties lead it 6-1.
Quite a few icing calls too as well.
The draw to the right of Mike Hogan in the Mountie zone. In to take the draw, Jason Lamori for North Country. Jeff Brisbane for the Mounties to the right of Hogan. Off the draw, and getting a stick on it. Colburn goes down, though, and Fred LaFaso is in there right now for MSJ, and he manages to steer it into the North Country zone. LaFaso chases it down at the end board, hit by Uri. Over for it, Brisbane as he digs it out. Far corner, tried to center it, knocked away by Labor, and North Country manages to clear back down into the Mountie zone. Back for it will be Chris Cosgrove. This will be icing. Fred LaFaso seeing some action for MSJ's on the ice right now, along with Jeff Brisbane, Kevin Doherty, Chris Cosgrove, and also, well, coming off the ice is Luke Bauman. Now, Trevor Shaft and Colin Brandon comes on with Eric Abel, Cosgrove, and Doherty. The draw will be to the left of Mark Sloan in the North Country zone. 7:31 left in the game, and the Mounties have a 6-1 lead. Eric Abel on the draw with Jason Lamori, and off the draw comes out to Doherty along the far boards. Doherty fired it to the circle stop, chopped up into the air by Abel. Trevor Shaft has it poked away by Uri. Now skating it out to center for North Country, Carmi Colburn up over the red line. Colburn steers it in behind Hogan to the far corner now. Trying to dig it out there was Doherty. Brandon over there. And does it come out? Yes, it does. Racine seeing action now for North Country as Trevor Shaft had it, lost it to Labor, backhands it to the Mountie zone, knocked out by Doherty. Racine gets it back into the Mountie zone, and back forward is Kevin Doherty. Doherty behind his own cage, starts it out right wing side, knocked down by Racine to the end board. Over for it, Abel. Racine digs it out along the far boards, trying to go out to the point. Brandon there, trying to clear it. Labor keeps it in. Labor back to Racine. Racine goes down, and over for it is Kevin Doherty. Kevin Doherty will skate it up to center now for MSJ. Pass intended for Brandon, knocked away. Colburn comes over at the red line. Finally poked into the North Country zone by Brandon. Uri back forward for North Country. Uri up to Carmi Colburn, up over the red line. Carmi Colburn skates it right to left. Hit by Bamborgi at the line. Eric Abel back in his own zone for MSJ. Eric Abel skates it up to center. That check by Bamborgi got the biggest roar of the night from the crowd here. As Brandon shoots it in from the blue line. The save by Mark Sloan. Rebel Sloan with it now. Pass too far for Postman. Well, Postman actually skates it down at center. Warren Postman now. His pass goes left wing side to Bacon. Check there by Bauman. Now Bamborgi with it. Another roar from the crowd. Bamborgi over the North Country line. Bamborgi tried to leave it for LaFaso. Comes all the way out to center. John Babb seeing action. And John steers it into the North Country zone from the red line. They're going to call icing on this one. And we'll have the draw back in the Mountie zone to the right of Mike Hogan. So Brett LaFaso and John Babb on the ice with Kurt Bamborgi, Jeff Brisbane, and Luke Bauman for MSJ.
MSJ defense really picking up the hitting with 5:45 left. Now he's going to send him through the boards on that one.
What are they yelling for now? They're yelling for Chris Mason, aren't they? Brisbane on the draw for the Mountie. He's got it to Bauman, tried to clear it away. Rebel Sloan keeps it in, shoots it in behind Hogan. To the near corner, John Babb over for it. John Babb lost it for a moment at the circle, but now Brisbane with it. And Brisbane got it out to center, knocked back in by Bacon, and back for it from Bamborgi. Out to LaFaso, off his stick. Steers it into the Falcon zone, over for it. Rebel Sloan couldn't clear it. Brisbane with it. Brisbane in deep to Bauman. Bauman's backhander goes wide of Mark Sloan. Goes to the far corner. Morin with it. Morin sent it in, well, fronted of his own goaltender, and an opportunity there by LaFaso, saved by Sloan. Brett LaFaso almost had a goal.
Just mowing everybody down in front of the net.
Was cleared. Here's Keith Hannigan now. He's into the game.
Sloan had a be on his toes on that one.
Now it's Eric Abel, Trevor Schaff, Chris Cosgrove, Kevin Doherty. Keith Hannigan in there right now for MSJ.
MSJ digging into the bench.
6-1, MSJ, 5:11 left in the game. The draw to the left of Mark Sloan in the North Country zone. I think it was Morin that somehow put it right in front of his own goaltender. And that's when Brett LaFaso had the opportunity.
Quite an exciting task for him.
Abel and Marshall on the draw, still in the circle, as Hannigan got it to the far corner, but labor with it for North Country. Now to Marshall, swings it around near side, intended for Limoges, kept in by Trevor Schaff, skates it left to right. Wrist shot saved by Mark Sloan, and he hangs on. 4:57 left. 6-1 MSJ, and the hat trick tonight for Jeff Brisbane. Kurt Bombargi's got a goal, Trey Schaft a goal, and Chris Cosgrove with a goal. Brisbane has got a power play goal and a shorthanded goal among his three. Trey Schaft's goal also shorthanded is played back into the far boards over for Hannigan. Hit there by Jason Colburn, who's seeing action. Now Marshall with it. Jason Colburn, brother of Carmi Colburn, that sees a lot of action for North Country. Limoges lost it at center. Steered into the zone by Trevor Schaft. Comes back out. Now Cosgrove with it. Cosgrove skates it to the red line. Backhands it wide of Sloan. North Country zone. And back forward is Prue for North Country. Out for Limoges. Limoges can't find it. Trevor Schaft turn around for the circle. Save Sloan. Trevor Schaft looking forward along there with Limoges. Prue there. Marshall there as well. They're all digging at it. Now Abel along the line. Came out of the zone. And he got it to Hannigan. And this is offside MSJ. And Hannigan was hit by Labor.
I don't think I've ever seen a puck sit in one spot for that long.
It's just there were 4 people playing Ring Around the Rosie with it. Draw just outside the North Country zone. 4:13 left in the hockey game as Marsh comes in along with Lamori, and also into the hockey game for North Country. Lindsey Moore, Rebel Sloan comes in, and also Peter Urey. And Chris Mason, the guy they wanted on the ice, is in there. Brett LaFaso is in there. Let's see, Brisbane, Bauman, LaFaso, Bombargi, and Mason. Bombargi steers it into the North Country zone on a chase. It is Brisbane beats Urey to the puck in behind the cage now. Got Brisbane hit by Rebel Sloan. Coming over is Marsh now. Sean Marsh skates it out left wing side for North Country. Up to center, skates it up over the red line, holds it, and then dumps it by Lamori to the near corner. Back forward, Mason, his own zone. Swings it around too far for Bauman. Out to the left point to Urey. To the left wing circle, he got it to Lindsey Moore, but the Mounties get it back out to center. And back forward his own zone. Rebel Sloan for North Country. Gets it out to Lamori. Lamori. Pass goes too far for Moore, and this will be icing as that came from outside the red line. 3:30 left in the game. It's 6-1 MSJ over North Country. And coming up tomorrow night, we'll see the same North Country club against Rutland. We'll have the first game of the doubleheader only. Be on the air at 5:20. Hannigan, Abel, and Brandon, Mason, and Bombargi, the skaters for MSJ.
Mike Hogan for MSJ, only with 3 saves this period.
From the draw to the right of Mark Sloan. Abel taking the draw with Marsh. Brandon had it for a moment, top of the circle. Mason had it at the point. Now Marsh skates it out to center over the blue line. Fires in on Hogan. He makes the juggling save and hangs on. We'll have the draw to the right of Mike Hogan in the Mountie zone as John Babb will skate back on with Kevin Doherty for MSJ. Warren Postman in along with Ethan Bacon. And also Glenn Netto for North Country. Rebel Sloan. I love saying that. Rebel Sloan at a point along with Peter Urey for North Country. Draw to the left of Mike Hogan in the Mountie zone. Eric Abel taking the draw with Glenn Netto. Now he's sent out of the circle, and it'll be Colin Brandon taking the draw. Got it to John Babb. Babb now along the near boards, getting it out to Brandon. Brandon up the center. Taps it ahead now for Abel over the red line, over the North Country line. Eric Abel cuts in front. Brandon looking for, they're poking at it. Hannigan there, still poking at it, and finally it's covered up. And a little bit of fisticuffs here, and they blew the whistle.
I think they're going to be going off with matching penalties.
It'll be Hannigan going off anyway for MSJ. That's probably roughing. Yep. And also, you're right, it is matching penalties. Hannigan going off for roughing, and also Peter Urey going off. No. Or yes, Yes, okay. He took his time getting to that penalty box. Yuri going off for roughing as well. Matching penalties. They'll be skating 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. 3:04 left in the game. 6-1 MSJ. So it's Brandon, Abel, John Babb, and Doherty, the 4 skaters for MSJ. The draw to the left of Sloan in the North Country zone. Off the draw, out to the right point to Kevin Doherty. He lines it up, shoots it in, save, Sloan, rebound to Abel, top of the slot. Ridden off the puck as with it Postman, but he lost it to Abel. Abel skates it left to right, poked away by Postman. Goes to the end board, Labor with it, hit by Brandon. Comes all the way around to the right point to Doherty. Sends it to the far corner, over for Labor. Labor looking and skates it out left wing side for North Country. Sends it off the near boards, went behind Postman to John Babb at the Mountie line. Babb sends it too far for Brandon, all the way in on Sloan, and Sloan will leave it for Scott Labor. 2:28 left in the game, 6-1 MSJ. See if Abel can't quite skate it down from Labor, still in the North Country zone, gets it up to Postman in his own line, spun around by Brandon. Now he gets it ahead to Neto. Neto over the Mountie line. Neto is hit by John Babb, and Doherty skates it out to center. Poked away by Labor. Labor lost it to Abel. Abel gets it into the North Country zone. Morin sent it ahead. Labor found it and then cleared it the length of the ice. No icing call. John Babb backboard. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the hockey game. 50 seconds left on the matching penalties. They're skating 4-on-4. Babb over the red line. Babb stick handling over the North Country line. John Babb fires in, save, Sloan. On the rebound, Trevor Schaff. The shot is deflected to the far boards. Marshall over for it, and he clears it out to center. And it is dumped into the zone by Racine. Dumped back out to the North Country zone by Bomborgi, and backboard is Labor. 25 seconds left on the matching penalties. Minute 25 left in the hockey game. 6-1 MSJ. Marshall with it over the Mountie line, left to right. Marshall and it poked away by Bomborgi. Over for near boards, taking the shot was Morin, saved by Hogan. And now Mason tries to send it around, but Marshall gets it out to the left point to Labor. Fires in, deflected, it goes wide. Along the near boards, Morin chopping at it, knocked down at the circle. Here's Bomborgi. Penalties are over, both teams at full strength. Bomborgi over the North Country line. Bomborgi cuts it on Sloan, fires in and scores. Kurt Bomborgi going coast to coast, 7-1 Mounties with 56 seconds left in the hockey game. Bomborgi's second goal of the game.
Boy, no mercy on that one. Bomborgi came right out, went all the way down the ice, and Sloan made a nice save, but the momentum of the goal just went right underneath his legs and right in.
Well, the Mounties take the 7-1 lead. A goal by Kurt Bomborgi. Brett LaFaso getting an assist on that. Chris Mason. So play back in. It's in the North Country zone. Trevor Schaff goes down. Brett LaFaso digs it out along the near boards. And North Country gets it out to center. Pass goes up too far for Jason Colburn. But Jason Colburn skates it down in the Mountie zone and gets hit by John Babb. They love that one there too. John Marsh sends it in front, knocked away by Hogan. Marsh again, it goes wide. 30 seconds left in the hockey game. Rebel Sloan over for it. He's hit at the circle. They love that one. Out to the right point. Lamore sends it to the end board. Now Sean Marsh. It came bouncing in front, knocked away by Hogan, and Hogan comes out to smother the puck. 18 seconds left in the game. The Mounties lead at 7-1. On the 7 goals, no cheering from the Mountie folks in the stands, but on the 7 checks, boy, they love those.
Boy, North Country is really taking a beating. Right down on the wire here with MSJ, and they're going to be going home feeling sore.
With every check, the student body section roars here at West Mandigan.
No mercy for MSJ, let me tell you.
Colin Brandon and Sean Marsh on the draw to the left of Hogan. Mountie zone, 18 seconds left in the hockey game. Chopped at the top of the circle by Pruitt. Goes in wide. Marsh with it. Send it in front. They're poking at it. Still poking at it. Loose in front. Babb looking to clear and manages to clear it out to Hannigan. Spun around, 3 seconds left. Hannigan steers it into the Falcon zone, and that's the hockey game. And the Mounties come up with a solid win. MSJ 7 and North Country 1. As the Mounties got the hat trick from Jeff Brisbane, including a shorthanded goal and a power play goal. And got a pair of goals from Kurt Bombargi, also a shorthanded goal from Trey Schapp, and a goal from Chris Cosgrove. Andy Marshall scoring for North Country. That had put North Country up by a score of 1-0 in the early going. MSJ 7, North Country 1. And with the victory, MSJ now 9-2-1 on the year. North Country falls under the 500 mark. The Falcons at 6-7. We'll see North Country tomorrow night against the Rutland High Red Raiders starting at 5:20. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment.